Alright, hi, my name is Daphne, and today, well, I'm gonna try today before it starts to rain outside. We have rain in the forecast for the next, I don't know, 7 days, maybe 2 weeks. Just straight through rain with like spots of like clear skies. But in any case, it's about to rain today. But there's a few things I need to do. I first need to cut down some of the yarrow and some of the stinging nettle because with all of this rain, it has just exploded. And this is the perfect time to collect some herbs. So we have our handy dandy scythe here, which needs to be sharpened. But we're just going to cut down some stinging nettle, cut down some yarrow, a few of the other herbs, and especially some dandelion leaf as well. And we're going to take that in the house, wash that and dry it. And then I also need to harden out some of the seedlings that I started in the house, which is namely one okra and some basil. Nothing else has come up yet. And we're just going to leave them out here to harden as well, because what's the point of having stuff in the house if the temperatures outside are cool? What I wanted to do was actually put some peppers and some tomatoes in the ground as well, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that before the rain comes. So I'll give you a quick tour around the garden just to see what the May garden is looking like. And then also what the squirrels are doing to my yard. I don't know what the hell they're digging for, but it's annoying. And nothing seems to scare them off, not even scents like onions and the different herbs. I don't know what they're digging for, but it's annoying. There are holes everywhere, so I need to kind of fill those in as well. But we're literally just out here just collecting some herbs and some green onion that need to be cut as well. So we're gonna try to do a lot of that and maybe a little bit of weeding before the rains come. So stay tuned and we'll just go through the garden and I'll show you how to collect stinging nettle without like being burned by it. So we have some handy dandy just regular plastic bags. Everyone has these in the cabinet somewhere. So we're gonna double layer these with some gloves on. You do want to have your gloves as well. And then also some long sleeves. And we're going to collect some nettle. I'll put the nettle in the plastic bags for now. Take the nettle in the house, rinse it really well, and then we're going to boil it. Let it cool, and then let it dry. There's a process for nettle that must be followed. It must be boiled or dehydrated or dried in some way to take the sting out of it. It's a process that I'm going to use to dry the stinging nettle. And then with the yarrow, which is in abundance here, I want to cut this down before it flowers. I don't need a lot of yarrow flowers because it's already taken up the vast majority of this section here. So I'll show you guys around, show you a little bit of the garden as it stands right now, and then we will be collecting some herbs. So stay tuned. All right, so here are my seedlings. I really do need to get them in the ground at this point because they are starting. Look at this. And that is doubly fused. They are actually starting to put on sprouts. And I do see some type of damage here to the leaves. They need to go on the ground. We have some weird weather coming up. Look at this borage, by the way. Can you see this? We have some weird weather coming up. It's supposed to drop to the 40s at night. But if I don't put these things in the ground, I feel like I'm going to have some damage with them. So look at this, by the way. I don't have a clue what that is, but it is healthy. So I need to put them in the ground. I just don't really want to. Look at this. Slugs. Ah. And squirrels. Do you see this? What in the living hell are they digging for? And these herbs smell like they have a scent to them, so it doesn't seem to be deterring them at all. I need to figure out some way to deal with these squirrels. And this stinging nettle, this top part here has been chewed up with bugs. I'm actually going to take the tops off of these and then harvest the remainder all the way down to the stem because I don't want this flowering at all. Look at this. I mean, dealing with this stinging nettle, what you want to do is have on long sleeves and try to pull the sleeves over your gloves. And this is not an exaggeration, so you do really want to have some protection with this. Treat it as if how you would treat poison ivy. I have 3 bags, 2 for my hands and then 1 for collection. So we're going to spread this out and just set this here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull off all of the tops because there's some insect infestation going on here. So all of the leaves I don't want, I'm just going to literally just put it on the ground. These are the wrong gloves. Make sure your gloves don't touch this stuff if you have on thin gloves. But all right, here's a bag and just Pull off the ones you don't want. I'm going to double bag this. Smooth this down and then just pull off all of the leaves you don't want. It'll save you the process of having to clean these. Alright, oh, I can still feel that through the glove. Sucked. Alright, so just going to pull off the tops that have the insect infestation, even though we're going to boil this in vinegar later. Let's see. I don't see anything else. Alright. And then what we're going to do is we're going to, let's see, here's some. Yeah, we definitely need to make sure we soak these for a while. I'm actually seeing residue on these. But when you have herbs and you don't use sprays, this is what you get. So I think there's a caterpillar on this somewhere. I don't know how they're eating this. Maybe it doesn't affect them as much. Just pulling off all of the yellow leaves. And I should have really gotten to this earlier. But what I'm going to do is the hand that I'm going to hold this with, I'm going to switch the bag. And then chop this, hold this here. And try to get a big handful of it. Just chop this down with the gloved hand. And I'm just going to stick this directly in the bag. And then gloved hand, and then a bag too. You don't probably have to double bag this if you have good gloves, but I just have regular garden gloves you find at like Menards and Lowe's for like $5 a pack. These gloves won't work. You need the heavy duty, like, you know, construction gloves, because the spikes go through these in terms of the cloth part. But here, I'm going to take this double bagged hand and the side and just bring this over. You see this? And just chop this down. A second to third year plant can actually take a pruning this hard. And we're just going to take this bundle and put this in the bag. In the bag. And we're just pruning this to make the plant thicker, because I don't want it to grow so straight up, and I really don't want it to seed because I have other herbs underneath it, and if it seeds, we'll have stinging nettle everywhere, and I won't be able to control the growth, the spread of it. And we don't want stinging nettle just randomly growing in the yard, so you do want to have it contained. Then just, all right, and when you've pruned it the way you wanted to prune it, we're just gonna run this under some water. It's not like poison ivy. Stinging nettle actually has these little burbs that kind of get into things. So if you can rinse this with some water and maybe some peroxide, you can also spray this down with WD-40 and that might help it to not stick. But that's an unnecessary waste of product. So just run this under some water. What I'm going to do with this bag is flip it inside out, because there might still be some bulbs on this side. You want to keep it away from your skin or anything like that, but the inside of the bag obviously didn't touch the stinging nettle. I wouldn't shake it or anything. Like I said, it's not like poison ivy. Poison ivy attacks you through the oils in your skin, and it has oils in the plant. This is literally the verbs. It's not oil that affects you. So what I would do is I would take this with your gloved hand, take the bag, and then put the part of the stinging nettle that's out inside of this, and then just tie it up. If you have any children, don't leave this around, and don't take it out of the bag until you are ready to process it. I have some thick rubber gloves in the house, and so that is and it comes up to my elbow. Got them from the international market. So I will be rinsing these with vinegar in the sink, and then with the gloves on, and then I'll dump them really, really quickly in a pot of boiling water. And that's how we're going to process this stinging nettle. Beautiful, even though I have to kind of chop this down. Oh, look who survived. A little scarlet kale. There's another borage there. Some healthy weed growth. I don't like the look of that plant there. It seems like it might be... No, that's not poison ivy. Look at this. I don't want my golden seal to be, that's comfrey right there that needs to be dug up. And then there's some bindweed that has to come out. I do need to prioritize. Look at this. Definitely need to prioritize some mulch. We do have some more yarrow, which is starting to flower really heavily, and we don't want that. Oh my God, look at this. Isn't it gorgeous? Can we take a moment to just appreciate the beauty of this Merlot lettuce? We have some Mizuna here and two lonely little Paris Island lettuces here. Oh my God, look at this. All of the leeks are starting to put on sprouts. We do have some peppermint that actually needs to be harvested, but not doing that today. And some lemon balm as well that could use some harvesting, and probably some fertilizer. I don't typically fertilize my, look at this, some mint. I don't typically fertilize my, my herbs. Something here. We have something eating on these. It's probably some gnat, I mean not gnats, but some aphids all throughout. It's hard to do bug maintenance when, oh my God, look at the hyssop. It's hard to do bug maintenance when it's raining so much. Well, they left the toasty alone. Some peppermint here. Some bee balm. Oh, look at the time. These things are just digging everywhere. But I see the transplants are taking nicely. All the chives have actually started to grow back. I have our oregano, which is growing strong. And this mess over here, let's just say there's a lot of weeding in my future. But we're gonna get some raspberries soon. That's pretty exciting. Look at that at the top. A lot of raspberries, lots and lots and lots of raspberries. Got some strawberries here. Look at these blooms. Isn't that crazy? I did not have to buy one strawberry plug this year. I'm really excited about that. Oh look, there's some strawberries coming through here. Do you see those? We have our healthy blackberry plant and our elderberry forest. So thank you so much for watching. I'm going to take the herbs in the house. I was going to clean them out here, but I don't think I'm going to get the opportunity to do that before the rains come. In any case, I hope you guys have collected some of your spring herbs as well. I do want to mention that with any type of herb collection, if this is the first year the herb is in your garden space, you do not want to collect the herbs. I have similar rules as people have with asparagus plants. You do want to let the roots develop in your soil before you decide to cut them off. Because what happens with herbs is that they do send out their sprouts and their additional leaves and their flowers, and they go through their entire cycle, which also benefits the roots as well because the roots spread out and get deeper and develop. So you want the roots to take root, you want the herbs to take root in your gardening space and get comfortable before you start to chop at them. So I say give about a year or two for any additional herb. Even if you purchase a start, you want the start to get comfortable in your garden space. So give about a year or two. All of my herbs are at least 2 years old. Outside of basil, you know, basil's a perennial. Basil's an annual. So for your annual plants, they're going to die out anyway. Cut them down. Obviously, you want to wait till they have their true leaves and they're established. But for perennials, for herbs that are going to be coming back, you do want to give them at least a cycle to be able to get the root structure down. The only herb that I would say is different for that is probably mullein, only because mullein is a what is it called, a biannual, so it flowers within the second year. And after it sends up its flower stalk with any plant, the leaves lose a lot of their nutritional value, which is what you collect. You can collect the flowers as well. But with mullein, the flower stalk obviously is getting the majority of the plant's energy. So I would actually collect a lot of the mullein leaves within the first year, but leave enough for the roots to be able to survive and thrive and spread out. Any other plant, I wouldn't actually touch it for a year. When I collected a lot of my yarrow within the first and second year, I kind of let it root and spread out a little bit. And now that it has a ton of babies everywhere, I just snip them from the root because I don't really care if they grow back or not. The exact same thing with the mugwort as well, and any other plant that I'm taking. The stinging nettle was 3 years old. I started that from seeds. I'm cutting that down to the base because the roots are fully established. I actually need to separate them out and give them to somebody. But they're fully established, so they won't mind a hard chop. But a first year stinging nettle or first year yarrow, you wouldn't want to do that. So that's just a note, a very long-winded note. But don't chop down your first year herbs unless they're annuals. Give them time to grow. I'm going to go chop these things down because they are now becoming problematic. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. You have a great day. Peace.